All right, so when we're dividing fractions, this is what we got to do. All right, when we're dividing fractions, the one thing we got to remember is the following. If you're looking at the left-hand side of the year, you can see, I'm just going to quickly undo all of these. When dividing two fractions, we use what is known as the tip and times method. So suppose you got 3 over 4, and you want to divide it by 5 over 6. What you got to do is you got to change the division into the opposite sign, which is multiply. And then you got to take the fraction on the right hand side and flip it over. 3 over 4 multiplied by flipped over 5 over 6 becomes 6 over 5. Now you simply have to multiply the numerators at the top, 3 times 6. Remember, we change the sign and we swap the second fraction. Here we go. 3 times 6 gets me 18. 4 times 5 gets me 20. And I can simplify by dividing by 2 to get 9 over 10. All right, now you try this question over here. Press pause. All right, let's go through this one now. So over here, what we're going to do here is we basically have 4 over 5 divided by 6 over 7. We're going to change, remember, divide into multiply. Keep the left-hand fraction as it is. Swap the second fraction over. Change to multiply, swap the fraction, right? You see that swapping the fraction there? Now multiply 4 times 7 to get 28 and 5 times 6 at the bottom to get 30. And now you can simplify by dividing the top and the bottom by 2. You'll get 14 over 15. That's the final answer there. All right, let's have a look at example number 3. In example number 3, I've got a mixed number, like let's say 2 and a third. And I want to multiply it by another mixed number, 3 and 2/5. The first thing you have to do is convert each mixed number into an improper fraction. So we take 2 times 3, which is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So 7 over 3. Then 3 times 5 is 15, and 15 plus 2 would get you 17. That's 17 over 5. Now that you have it in its improper fraction form, you can cancel across if you can, but you can't because 7 can't divide by 5 or 3 can't divide by 17. So 7 times 17 we got to calculate. We can calculate it without a calculator. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. So that's 119. And 3 times 5 is 15. So we got 119 divided by 15. If we have to go back into a mixed number, we gotta be able to take 15 and multiply it by a certain number to get as close to 119 as possible. If I multiply it by 2, I get 30. So that means if I multiply it by 4, I'll get 60. And if I multiply it by 6, I'll get 90. All right, and let's look at it now. So if I got 6 15s, I get 90. So 15 times 7 would be 105. So it's going to go into there 7 times, and 19 minus 5 is 14 over 15. So your final answer will be 7 and 14 over 15. Now, you can try this one here, or you can jump into the Kahoot as well. You will find some questions there. But here we go. This is 3 and 2 over 4, all right, multiplied by 2 and 3 over 5. Try this question and let me know when you're done. All right, I'm going to go through All right, I'm going to start going through this one slowly. So the first thing I got to do is convert each of these into an improper fraction. So 3, remember, multiplies by 4, which is 12, and then plus is 2, which is 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14 over 4. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. over 5. Now I could have simplified 2 over 4 into a half as well. And I can also simplify this again if I want as well. 7 over 2 divided by 2 times 13 over 5. 2 times 5 is quite easy, it's 10. And 7 times 13 is the same as 7 times 10 plus 3, which gets me 70 plus 21. So it becomes 91. So I get 91 over 10, which is 9.1. We don't really need to worry about that. Keep it as a mixed number. It'll be 9 remainder of 1 over 10. So 9 and 1/10 would be your final answer there. Okay, so just double check me there. If I use 14 and 13, then I would have ended up doing this. I would take 14 and multiply it by 13. And if you did that, that's also fine. Now 14 times 13, I can calculate like this using long multiplication. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. Put a 0. 1 times 4 is 4 and 1 times 1 is 1. So I end up with 182. That's 14 times 13, which gets you 182. So this would end up as 182 if we multiply those two. And we not simplified, all divided by 20. We then divide it by 2, divided by 2, and that would have taken us back there, which would have then taken us back there. Okay, so there's another possibility of how we can do that. Now let's take all of this and let's go to another example where we're dividing a whole number by a fraction. All right, we're taking a whole number and we're dividing a fraction. Okay, let's call it example number 4. When we're dividing a whole number in a fraction, so example number 4, let's say I got 5 divided by 1 over 3. When you have a whole number, always write it over 1. And when you have divide, change it into multiply. And when you have 1 over 3, tip it over to become 3 over 1. So your answer here will be 15. Now you try this. Suppose you got 6 divided by 1 over 4. What will that equal? All right, you should be done now. So what you got here is you're going to take 6 over 1. Remember, that's going to be 6 over 1 times opposite of that, which is 4 over 1. So that becomes 24, which is 24 over 1. All right, and you'll find more questions like that. Okay, well done. If you understand all of that, continue with the Kahoot. And when you're done, let me know. I'll have a look at the scores in the meantime. All right, you should be busy with the activity from Transum level 7 and level 8. Do level 7 and level 8. And when you're done with that, you can go to the shared screen and you'll see multiplication and division of fractions there. All these links are placed in the assignment, so you should find all of the links that we did together over there. Well done if you finish level 7. And if you get to level 8, when you're done with that, then jump straight to the shared screen and you'll see a question there. 5 over 22 multiplied by 2 over 35. Well done, guys. All right, I've got a suggested answer over here now. I can see it's 1 over 77. I'm going to type it in. Well done if you got 1 over 77. Okay, just remember product means multiply. In a group of 50 students of 5, if 5/10 are girls, then how many of the girls are there? How many are girls in the class? Okay, so try that question out. And if you are busy with the transform activity and you're on level 8, you can do a few more questions until 6:45, and then we're moving back onto the shared screen. All right. So yeah, if you are done, have a look at the shared screen, type your answers in, and let's see if you got it. All right, I can see some answers coming through. We'll just wait a little bit more if someone else wants to type an answer in before I type your answer in. Okay, so let's go through an explanation of this one. You got 50 students, right? So you got 50 students, which is the total size. Okay, and they're saying that 5 tenths are girls, right? If 5 tenths are girls, right? That means if I divide it into 10, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? If I got 10 spaces over there, we're saying that 5 tenths are girls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 10 are girls. So that means 5 out of 10 is the same as a half. So therefore, half of 50 are girls. So what's half of 50? 25. So your answer for this is going to be 25. All right, try this next one. In a group of 20 students, see if you can work it out. Type your answers in the chat. All right. All right, I got some suggested answers here. Suggested answer is 4. So we got 20 students and we multiply it by 1/5, which is 20 times 1 over 5, which is the same as 20 divided by 5, which is 4. So that gets me 4. Let's check if it's correct. All right, well done. He's correct. Okay, the reciprocal of any fraction is the fraction in reverse. So if I've got any fraction, which is, let's say, a over b, and I want to find the reciprocal, which is some number a over some number b, it'll become b over a. So what have I done? I swapped the numerator and the denominator. So we first have to convert this into an improper fraction and then swap out the denominator and numerator. So I got 4 times 4 is 16 plus 2 gets you 18 over 4. And when I swap it around, it becomes 4 over 18. But I need to simplify it. Because simplest answers are always the answers they want. So 4 divided by 2 gets me 2, and 18 divided by 2 gets me 9. Alrighty. Find the product. Product means multiply. I'm just pausing in between each question, alright, for you to try the questions. Alright, everyone should be done. Everyone can focus on the shared screen now. Okay, and if you have already started focusing on the shared screen. Alright, everyone should be done, and we on the shared screen. Like I said, if you are done, we're focusing on the shared screen, and we're going to continue on here with a few questions on multiplication and division of fractions. So remember, the word product means multiply. We got to convert this. This will become 11 over 10 because 1 times 10 is 10 plus 1. And then multiply by 1 times 14 plus 1 is 15 over 14. So we just multiply the top and the bottom. Okay, and it'll become 11 times 15. Now, if you don't have a calculator and you calculate 11 times 15, you can do it in stages. So 110 plus 55 gets you 165 if you're not sure. And 10 times 14 is the same as 10 plus 4. So that's 10 times 10 is 100 plus 40. So that's 140. Now we can divide each of these by 5. 5 goes into this. You can calculate it. But the one thing to make your life easier would be rather not do this. Rather simplify it over here. And that would make your life much more easier. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm just going to quickly grab this area. If I got 11 over 10 and I multiply it by 15 over 14, I can divide 10 by 5 to get 2 and divide 15 by 5 to get 3. So immediately I'll get a simplified answer, which is 1 and 5 over 28. All right, 1 and 5 over 28. Okay, because 5 goes into 10 2 times, 5 goes into 15 3 times, 3 times 11 is 33, 2 times 14 is 28. All right, type agree if you agree with my answer, or type you do not agree, or maybe you're not sure. All right, I'm getting agree, so hopefully I'm right. But if I'm wrong, then we'll have to find out why, right? And we can also learn a lot when we get things wrong. Okay, so we must learn before we write tests. Excellent. Got that right. I'm glad. Now let's move on to some word problems. Okay, Hannah has 720 toffees that she wants to distribute on her birthday. She distributes two-thirds of these in the class. Out of the remaining toffees, she distributes one-eighth to her teachers. How many toffees are left with her?
Sure.
So how would we calculate this? What is the process to calculate this? Anyone got an idea? I got 720. I've got to multiply it by 2 over 3, right? It'll give me however many distributed into the class, right? That goes to the class. And then whatever's left, right, she distributes one-eighth. So how would I multiply? What do I multiply? What's left? So 720 multiplied by 2 over 3. Let's work this out first. 3 can go into 72 how many times? 24, right? So it goes into 720, 240 times. What's 240 times 2? 480. So that means the class will get 480 sweets. Now, what fraction remains? What fraction of the 720 remains behind? We can even work it out. We can say the remaining will be 720 minus 480. So let's take 720 and we minus 480. And I can also write it like that. 0 minus 0 is 0. 2 minus 8, you can't. You borrow this becomes 6. That becomes 12 minus 8 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. So I get 240 toffees. Okay, 240 toffees. And one-eighth of 240 goes to the teachers. So that's the next calculation. Take 240 now, multiply it by one-eighth. And I end up with 240 divided by 8. And 24 divided by 8 is 3. So that's 30. All right, so 30 toffees will go to the teachers. How many toffees are left with her? I've given away 480 to the class and 30 to the teachers. All right, I had 240 left and I minus 30 now. So I got 210 toffees left. Type agree if you agree. 210, and let's see if it's correct. All right, hold up.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I got a question. How do you change it like improper into mixed?
All right, let's do a quick activity on that. How do you change from improper into mixed? That's a good question. Okay, so if I got improper, so let's say I got 14 over 9. The first thing you have to do is see how many times can 9 divide into 14. Now you know 14 is made up of 9 plus 5. So 14 divides by 9, 1 whole, so that'll become 1. And the remainder is 5, so we put 5 and we divide it by the 9 over here. Okay, so that's 1 and 5 over 9. Let's try another one. 140 divided by 9. 140 divided by 9 is going to be, so we know that 9 is going into 90 10 times. All right, and if I go 9 times 11, I'll get 99. 9 times 12, I'll get 108. So I've got to work this out. How many times can 9 go into 140? And if I keep doing that, I go 140 divided by 9 will be not exact. There will be a remainder. And it will go into there 15 times. And the remainder will be, so let's work out the remainder. So I take 15 times 9. So take those two and multiply it. And that becomes 15 times 9. I have to calculate that on a separate part. So I can go 15 times, let's say 3 times 3. That's 45 times 3, which is 45 plus 45 plus 45. I could also use multiplication, 15 times 9 like that. And I end up with 15 times 9 to be 135. That means from 140 to 135, my remainder is equal to 5. So I put my remainder at the top over the original denominator. Improper becomes mixed like that. And without a calculator, there's quite a bit of calculations you got to do without a calculator. But keep a calculator handy, especially in some cases where it's really big, in case you need it. Sometimes teachers or schools do allow it for a bit, but not for every question. You still have to show all your working. All right, let's do one more of these. I want you guys to give me numbers. Give me three numbers.
100,
Another one?
5, 92,
92 and
5.
5. Okay. All right, we'll keep those three numbers now. I want to convert from improper to mixed. All right, so here we go. We're going to convert from improper to mixed. Question 1, I got 100 over 92. In question 2, I got 92 divided by 5. Try and calculate those two. So I got 100 divided by 92. We know that one is much more easier. I mean, 92 is so close to 100. So it's 1, and the remainder is 8 over 92. And I always simplify the fraction if I can. There'll be 1 and 4 over 46. Is that 46? Which is the same as 1 and 2 over 23, like that. The next one, I could use short division. So take 5 and divide it into 92. So 5 goes into 9 once, remainder 4, and 5 goes into 42. 5 times 8 is 42, so the remainder is going to be 2. So this goes into here 18 times, and the remainder is 2 over 5. And that's the two answers over there. I am now going to send a link through to convert from improper to mixed numbers. Let's do some practice on these to make sure that you guys are all good and ready for this. Okay, so that's coming through now. Click on the link coming through, and you will also find it in the assignment. Okay, have a look at that improper fractions. Try level 1, try level 2, and then try level 3. All right, I'll let you try that for maybe about 10 minutes. We'll try it for 10 minutes and we jump back into a Kahoot. All right, so you should just check. There is a link, which is the next Kahoot link. All right, if you haven't started yet, you can begin that Kahoot now.